Good morning, everyone. I just want to take a moment to explain what might be the difference between your fence being effective or ineffective on with a hot wire. And that is, how many joules does your energizer have? Many times people mistake, they get a low joule fencer, and then they look at the voltage, and the voltage might read, 6,000 or 7,000 volts, and they think, wow, I've got a hot fence. Well, that's as hot as that thing will be, but it's not going to be very effective because you don't have any joules hardly. But if you get a bigger joule unit, like I have a 28 joule unit, which is really quite big, your local Tractor Supply or Atwoods or something like that's not going to carry that. However, with a big, with a lot of joules, when my fence is reading 9,000 volts, it's got some punch. So the best way to look at it is the voltage is the speed of the bullet, the joules is the size of the bullet. So you're going to get a lot bigger punch with a higher joule fencer. So the best thing to do is ignore the recommendations that you see on the packages when it says this fencer will is good for this many miles or this many acres. Whatever you think you need, times that by 10. I mean, just be excessive on how big of a unit you need. Because when you do that, and you put in a big unit with a good grounding system, your animals will be much easier to train. So an example will be when I drop this fence, that thing, it doesn't just pop a little, it echoes. I mean, it's got some punch. Those cattle will not want to step on that wire. So probably the hardest thing to train to a hot wire is goats, which we've done successfully with this unit. Obviously I used more than one wire with the goats, but point of it is I think the hardest thing to keep in is going to be goats, but it can be done. Then it's going to be sheep, then it's going to be cattle, and then horses, in my experience. And so horses, they can usually, they're a lot more sensitive to stuff like this. But right now I'm using cattle on this one, and it's really nice to be able to train my cows and my young stock from a young age to respect a single hot wire, and it becomes quite useful for the rest of their lives. So anyways, hopefully this helps you when you're out selecting a charger. Don't waste your money on the little wimpy ones. Go ahead and get a bigger unit. Personally myself, I don't like anything smaller than a 6 or 8 joule for a plug-in unit. And solar panel chargers, I mean, if you absolutely have to use them, I wouldn't go any smaller than a 1 joule, and that would only be for reinforcing trained livestock. I would not use a solar panel charger to train livestock to electricity. It's much harder to do. Not impossible, but just a lot harder. So anyways, hopefully this helps when selecting your unit.